And Susan, you said you didn't get a whole lot of that worked out yesterday. So Heidi, how about you? What did you?
I feel like the summer intensive page is kind of ready to go. So
Okay, good. I didn't look at it either. Do you have a headline for it? I'm sure.
a headline for it. One focused season to change your life.
Oh, perfect. Yeah. Yeah. Okay. Awesome. So Annette, I'm going to check in with you. How did you get sales copy wise from yesterday to today?
I think I wrote out most of it for my meal planning workshop.
Nice. Okay, very good. Very good. Is there anything from any of you guys that you want to brainstorm or go over or any of that first?
I'm always happy to go over stuff.
Do you have your copy in a Google Doc?
I have it in a Word doc.
In a Word doc?
Yeah. I could probably put it really easily in a Google Doc.
I don't think I think it. Yeah, I'm just trying to think if there's an easy way to share it. That was all. I know you can add files to the chat over here, or you could just add a link to it, but Heidi, I know I had yours. So one of the things, Heidi, I did want to mention to you. So if I put in aseasonofme.com, it goes to your website. And then I still have to click on a Season of Me Summer Intensive. So if you can, make that go to the Summer Intensive page. You're muted.
Oh, I can't with Weebly, right? That's a,
Oh,
so
okay. Got it.
until we actually get this funnel stuff figured out and my sites are like, it's not going to be an option. So.
Okay.
Okay, there's my link.
Okay. FAQs. Okay.
The one thing I was thinking about doing yesterday that I didn't was kind of rethinking the refund page. Like that's a whole philosophy shift that I get, but I can't quite figure out how to word in a way that seems comfortable to me.
Yeah. When you run your program, I know that they have the group thing, right? Do they get replays of it?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. I'm just trying to figure out if there's a way, because one of the things, right? Like the one thing for a program that's priced like yours is, which is $11.97. You want to make sure they're not like, oh, I just haven't shown up, so now I want a refund, right?
Right.
Yeah. So you want to make sure it's a way that they've shown up. Right. And so, so you could, I mean, it is a group program. So you could say, after you've attended the first two, if you feel like the program isn't for you, you will refund you 100%. Right. So you can word it in such a way like that, like it's, after you've attended our first two group meetings, if you find that the program just isn't for you, we'll refund you 100%, no questions asked, right? And then that attended means they've shown up.
Right.
Because I just don't want them to be like, oh, I just don't have time now. You know, that's not the.
Yeah, and I usually, I mean, I'm in the health space, and so, depending on where somebody starts with their health, I can help some people in 30 days and some people it takes 6 months, and I don't have any control over that. So I usually say, if you do the work, that I tell you to do, and you still feel like crap after whatever, then I'll keep working with you for 30 more days or something. But I do have in my guarantee that if in that next 30 days you still don't feel well, then that means that you are going to require a longer term and you need to join a more in-depth program or get testing or something.
Maybe, yeah, I was gonna say, or maybe they need to go see a doctor and get some testing and find out,
Right.
Or maybe you
Some-
also kind of implement some kind of food diary or journal, just so you can kind of see where they're at. So they can see mainly where they're for themselves are at, honestly, not necessarily where you see it, but that way, you can see that they've done some work, right? Like they've put their effort in it.
Yeah, they have to show that they've done the work. And then I'm not refunding anything. I'm just giving them more time.
Right.
Yeah. Yeah. I think the thing too, Heidi, I'm wondering if, let me look at this thing again. So you just have, so I was just trying to think of, right, like, especially since they get one-on-one sessions. Like, I don't want to refund that. Do you know what I mean?
Right. Honestly, that's what I couldn't. Yeah.
Yeah.
I went round and round on it, and then I just left it the way I've had it before. And
The other way to go on it is, so the other way to go on it is like, we'll be happy to refund you, but if the program's not for you, it's not for you later either. Right? Like, because what it will eliminate the I don't have time thing, right? Like, oh, I want a refund now, but I might join the next one. No, if you ask for a refund now, you're not joining again.
Right.
Right? Like, we're not doing, the person that I was talking about the other day who did the chargeback for us on the membership, when they had been trying, like, I have blocked her and banned her from joining ever again.
Right.
Yeah. Because quite frankly, if you can't, it's that same, like, if you can't honor that when you were 3 months later joining pieces of things, and then you decided you wanted 3 months of refund,
Right.
you did charge, like, I don't want that kind of person in our community. Don't.
Right.
So, right, it could be, when do you do the private coaching session? Do you do one group first and then, or do some of them land prior?
Some of
to
them
that
do
first
it. Some do it in the initial onboarding. Others do it after the first group.
Okay.
I mean,
I
it's one of
joined hers. I joined hers early. And
Yeah.
so one of the bonuses was I got a one-on-one.
right.
Right. I feel like after they meet with you one-on-one, the chance of them refunding is so low, right?
Right.
Because they will have experienced you.
Right.
All right, let me keep thinking about that too for your guarantee. It might be this what Annette was saying, right? Like and I guarantee that if you show up for yourself by the end of this 6 weeks, you know, you'll have focused on your dreams for 6 weeks, blah, blah, blah. And then like, if you really feel like that hasn't happened, I'll give you the next one for free. Like you can do the round again.
Right.
That actually might work really well, because who cares if they come to the next one,
Right.
right?
Yeah, I'll tweak with that a little bit. And-
Yeah, I actually think that's the idea I like best so far. Is like, show up for yourself. If you show up for yourself and do the things,
Can I
you know,
say something?
Yep.
I did the first round with Heidi, and I believe that in her sense, if you gave her a money back guarantee, that's almost like the mindset of coming in feeling like you're not going to make it. You're not going to. I feel like the vibe of Heidi's program is one like what you're saying now. Go through it. You're going to love it. You know, however you want to say it.
Right.
It's going to impact your life. If it hasn't, we'll have a chat or a meeting or something, or, you know, I'll bring you into the next session.
Yeah, and I would say if you really don't think it was worth it, and we have that conversation, right, I'll give you the next one for free, because nobody's gonna say, like,
Right.
I just know they're not, right?
Right.
It's the only thing that I worry about in all of that is I signed up and I haven't had time to show up.
Right.
Yeah. And I don't have time to show up for myself is not a reason for, I mean, maybe that's the way you put it, right? Like I don't have time to show up for myself is not a good reason.
Yeah.
You could just emphasize the importance of showing up. Don't do it
Yeah.
in the negative sense. If you don't
No,
have
right.
time to show up, say, this is going to require that you, I don't like the word show up, but show up and participate and do the work. And if you do, you'll see the results. You know,
Right.
it's the same with Annette. I mean, as a dietitian, I said, I would tell people, you have to show up and do the work. It's not going to do it for you. You can't tell me you're not making any progress if you haven't at least tried to do the work.
Right. Yeah. I do like that. I mean, I do think it's important for them. And I kind of like the show up for yourself, right? Like this is the
Right.
one point in time, like the whole point of it is that they're showing up for themselves and not everybody else first,
All right. And making that investment.
and making that investment in themselves. Yeah. Yeah. Okay. Anything else on copy that you guys want to talk about? I mean, you obviously still have access to all of the offer cure stuff. Why that left my brain, I do not know. All the offer cure stuff. Go back in there. Julie will talk about all the things that we talked about yesterday. She has a very specific bonus in there on headlines and hooks, and it's only 10 minutes. It's really good. And so but I do think, Annette, in yours, let me look at it really quick. So we start with the announcement right there and go to FAQs.
Oh, and it's not in any order. I just was doing it
Features.
in order of the pages I had. Yeah.
Yeah. So, so what I don't see here is a head, like the top part yet, right? Okay. I'm just making sure that I'm not missing that. So yeah, the headline, and then those pain points. And when you lean into those pain points, like Like you keep, be really specific. Like you keep falling asleep at 2 PM because you can't hold your eyes open, right? All the things will be like, oh yeah, that's me. Or every time you sit down on the couch, you can't even make it through a half-hour show and you're out. Right? Susan, yeah, ask me how I know, right? Or, I mean, I don't know what all it covered, but like acid reflux keeps you up at night. So I'd be really specific about those things, because remember, they only have to identify with 1 or 2 of them. They don't have to identify with all of them. But all those ways we very specifically feel like crap. Yeah. And then the headline. And so, yeah, I would watch that headline thing in there. Okay. So design wise, there's a lot of things that she talks about in there, and Kathy does this one because Kathy is the designer. But the biggest piece is the way your eyes fall down the page, right? So you have to design a sales page for people who are skimmers and people who read every single word, right? So you have both of those things. So they talk about copy design. So, and I think, Heidi, this is one place on yours that, and it might be a Weebly thing too, right? But that it could probably use a little more design to it, just because it's like a wall of words, right? And so the #1 indicator, so this is true of email, right, is if you've ever, let me see if I can find the one that I want to show you guys, because I love this guy's emails. Let's see. Search them. Share my screen. What he says here isn't the important part, right? But if you look at it, it's like a line or two, and then he like centers some stuff. And this is an email, so it's without any design at all. And he still like spreads things out so that it's not a wall of words. Because what happens is when people see an email, let's see. No. I don't know, but that just has words. See, even this one is spread out a little bit. So your brain automatically thinks, oh, I can read that. And then they scroll to keep reading. Where is my stop share button? Oh my goodness. So on yours, right, like if we look at any of the FG templates, you'll see they have images through them, right? They're talking about one thing here and there. And there's more to that than it just looking pretty, right? It's the way we read it. And in fact, maybe that's what I will share as one of their templates. I have all of them. Let's see. I gotta put it over here so it's not in my way. Go to this one. It's launch party.
Sounds very similar to the key thoughts approach to note taking. Where,
Yeah.
when in class, for instance, you don't take notes, you don't take every word. You take keywords, you take key thoughts. And
Right.
you spread them out so that when you're studying, you can focus on that one section and then you can go to the next. And I mean, it's a psychological way of taking notes.
Right. Yeah, it is. And it just spreads it out so your brain is more apt to read it. And then it's also working for skimming. And in fact, oh, my brain needs to stop jumping around. Let me look and see if she has. On the PowerPoint. Oh. Okay. Do you share files? Let me share my screen here. This one. So I was just going to pick one of them. That's funnel assets. I got to find the right funnel. There it is. There's an SLO one. Like I am looking for. So if we're talking here, and this isn't my favorite one either, but the headline's super easy to read, right? This image right here is more important than most people think it is, right? Because we're taking something super intangible and making it visual so that people can kind of grasp what it is. So that's the point of this image. It's not just because it looks good. It's so that it makes it tangible to them. Like, okay, I'm going to get, you know, the worksheets that go along with it, the Zoom room, all the things. But so there's an image and then some text on the side. Same thing here, like icons and text and right. So none of it looks like just text falling down the page. And this is just their templates. All right, so I would say here's features. So if you want to talk about where we started, right? Here's the announcement. Here's the features. And then the benefits, like what, you know, the benefits. More benefits. Bonuses. Right? Product stack. The value of it. Testimonials sprinkled throughout. So there's one there. There was one up here. I have seen one up here. I've seen people where, especially if the modules have very specific things, where they've put like a testimonial on each one of these that talked about the benefit of that particular module. And it just happened to be the ones that they were looking for. Let me see. Here's urgency and scarcity, right? It's a limited time offer. Here's your guarantee, which is usually right here. More testimonials, more benefits, right? So it doesn't have to be this long, obviously. And then is this FAQs? Yeah. So this is FAQs. In fact, if we look at the one I just did, it's a very, very, very short sales page right now because it's a $9 offer. So headline. And there's no pain points on this one, again, because it's just, are you using Zoom? Show up. Here's what's included. So there's the features, a little about us. And then FAQs are a drop down. And that's it on that one. Right. But it's still, even though it's short, it's easy to read, right? It's kind of chunked up. Does that make sense? So it has to do with where your eye goes first. And so if you look at that design piece, right, size of font and weight of font will make your eye go, let me do that again. Let me just pick one to talk through on that in that way. Favorite all. This is one of my favorite templates because it's so customizable, and you'll notice I've used it quite a bit. Let me share my screen. Okay, so this is their paper doll funnel. Every single registration page for NACWE in-persons is this page. Is this right? But it looks different because I have it's not a digital product, so we don't have a stack image there. We have the image of the director. But if we look here, right, if I'm a skimmer, I'm going to see The Secret to Disney, $100 worth of fun. So my eye definitely reads this before it reads this little top line, even though that top line comes first. When you put the whole testimonial, right, they talk about pulling a piece of it out like this, like what piece do you want to highlight to the person who's skimming, because they're just going to read this part. They might read these three, but probably they're just reading this one if they're skimming. My eye goes here first and then there, right? That's a pain point. Nobody wants micro monsters at Disney. Right. But again, it's just easy to read. This is definitely the thing that they're going to see. And the images they do become important, right? Here's the announcement, right? This is the name of it. This is the thing I love about this right here is it's specific to the offer, right? Let's sprinkle some pixie dust. It's specific to what the headline is. So, but it doesn't have to be all of that. So I wouldn't get all up in your head. Here's features. But again, like see how this one has the image over here and that's here and then the image. So your eye is moving down the page in this zigzag pattern, which is usually helpful. This is the guarantee, so you can make your guarantee something kind of fun that doesn't necessarily say guarantee, but like this is, I think, Heidi, for you, might be a good way to state your guarantee. It's like, give me a season and I promise, right? Or something like that. Count. Okay. So it's really hard for me to explain design, but hopefully, right, if you watch that, like you'll see the reasoning behind adding more design. So if I look at Season of Me, it has a lot of words, right? And I get it. But I also know I am the person who skims pages. Which could be contributing to why people don't understand what it is, because they're not reading all of it.
I know funnels is better. I just can't figure it out.
Okay, yeah, no, I'm not, and I'm not trying to like, yeah.
I know.
But I would say, I would just go in, and I can help you with this if you want. I would just go in and pick a template. And then take your words here and see if you can stick them in there. And see what happens. So we talked, I think, about, did we talk about watercolor being?
Yeah, I have it.
Yeah. That kind of fits your thing. Yeah. That one's it's a little bit older, so it's a little harder to customize, but not difficult. I can help you with it. And the good news about that is I tend to use the older ones because people aren't seeing them all the time.
Right.
You know, yeah. Because people have given, yeah. So I like to have that all separated out. Would it be, well, I don't know if it would be for Annette. Annette, remind me again where you have your website pages, your pages. You're muted again.
My website is at revivedwoman.com, but my courses are usually in ThriveCart.
ThriveCart. Do you use the ThriveCart sales pages too?
Yeah, and I bought some templates to use with them.
Yeah.
I don't have to like try to figure that out by myself.
Okay. Let me
But
find
do
you
these
guys.
templates work in there?
These ones won't, but I can, let me give you a sales page wireframe that I have. Yeah, so I'm going to share this with you. It has Kim Smith's list book in it, but it'll still give you guys. Let me make a copy of it so we're not looking right at. Copy. The link. The link. So this should help you get it in the right order, right? So you have all of it in the workbook. So this is when she talks about copy design, and when I talk about copy design, it's the same thing. So when Kim and I were doing the list book page, I helped her create this. And then we sent it to Callie, and Callie put it on the page. So it still needed a little bit more design work. So you might be able to just make a copy of this and then put your own words in there and just see how it flows through, and then make it fit your ThriveCart. For the other two who are in FG funnels, I would just pick the template you want to use And rather than doing anything with this wireframe. I mean, it follows the same thing. Right, it follows the same pattern, but does that help? Does that make sense? Heidi, you look confused.
I'm sorry.
Oh,
I
it's
thought you were
okay.
talking about Annette's page, not
Oh,
mine.
yeah. No, I mean, I was just, your eyes were like, hmm.
No, sorry.
Yeah. So for this wireframe, I would say that it is, Annette, you can totally use it. And their templates might follow that as well. I just don't know. Like, I don't know enough about ThriveCart to know. Yeah, but yeah. So you'll see here on this one, there's a headline. I'm not super thrilled with this headline, but it is what it is. So there's a headline, a few things, an image, but it was just for a list book too. So there wasn't like a stack image available. She calling out who she wanted to buy. Right, no wonder you're tired. You've tried everything, every planning system. Right, here's the pain points. They're all too complicated. They're scattered and you can't keep track of it all. So this is like the copy design stuff. Did you know? It's not your fault. I was once there running from place to place. And then I decided a system that would work for me. I needed something simple. Right, so here's the benefits. I needed something simple. Right, that's not a feature of the thing, it's a benefit. The feature is that you can tear out the pages. The benefit is it's simple and I can like take it and go with me. My list separate but together. Never looking for paper again, that's a benefit. That's why I created Make Today Count. So here's the announcement. What makes it different? So here's the features. Ways to use it, a testimonial, talking about gifts for who is it good for, right? And then like the order spot. So your list, that's another testimonial. Right? And then that's that. Oh, this was a whole separate thing for the cards, like a little mini page. But that wireframe should help you, like, get it all in the right order. And there might be more to it, but that should help. Heidi, I don't want you to feel like you have to change that before you can sell it.
I will figure it out.
Start selling it from that page. And in the meantime, right?
Build the other
move it,
one.
Build the other one.
I get,
You just muted. I don't know.
yeah, no, I get that. And
Yeah. Okay. I just know, yeah, I do the same thing. It's not like that's the reason, right? I'm like, I need to put it over here. Yeah, so. So let me ask you guys this question. Tomorrow, do you want to finish up your sales copy and talk about that tomorrow? Or do you want to try and talk about design and do more of that tomorrow?
I think I prefer copy.
Okay. Well, the copy does drive the design, right? So, yeah, so I think copy is probably a good place to be. I'm gonna look. So once, I'm gonna let you guys keep working on this, and I'm here and I'm gonna answer questions, and I'm not going anywhere for 20 minutes, but one of the things I would say is try and get some copy into these buckets that we've been talking about. So like a headline, right? So that you still have a little bit more to write, and I can give better feedback if I know what parts I'm looking at. So I think you still have like some pain point stuff at the top of the page, right? All the way to here, which is the announcement. How are you feeling, Heidi?
I mean, I think I'm feeling good. For me, it's a question more of, do I get more help with the design? I'm pretty much sure I'm not going to do that myself, right? So I do have an appointment. I just sent you a private message. Basically, I have an appointment tomorrow with Callie, who's my VA too, to talk about some of this. But I'm also starting to work on something else that I think will help sell this. So.
Oh, nice. Yeah.
I kind of want to go back to the beginning of Offer Cure, because I want to do a workshop that's actually a piece of it.
I love that.
That can go out already next week, leading up to the summer intensive.
Okay. Yeah.
So,
and do you have a lead magnet that goes into that or no?
this is what that
will
workshop
be.
would be, the lead
Okay.
magnet going into that.
Okay. Yeah, that makes sense.
So.
Yeah. How do I close the page I wanted here? Put it somewhere. Okay, I do have time this afternoon, so I don't want to push you guys, but I can be here to answer questions. And so I want to show Susan really quick what we have on hers. She's been having me help her with hers. Get in the right spot. And just make sure, Susan, that you're actually design-wise liking it. And then we'll talk about the copy to put in. Do you have what you've written? What have you written so far, Susan? I know you said you didn't get all of it done. You're on mute.
I don't have enough of it to share with you because I was doing 2 other things besides. I just have like little, thoughts that come to my head and nothing coherent.
Okay.
I'm working on adding pieces.
Yeah.
To the whole program. Like we're going to now have
You're
local
working on the
chapters.
offer part.
Yeah, but we're gonna also have local chapters.
Oh yeah.
I'm gonna
Nice.
collaborate with Sherry on the one for Tucson, to start one for Tucson. So I have to kind of
I love that.
whirl into that. And then I'm doing my video for the next month. And so my brain wasn't on sales copy page.
I get it. So I'm going to share this so you can see it and see what you think. And I am not. So this is a page. This is why I was asking about the lead magnet, right? Like you have Campania, Italy, as a freebie for people who are interested. So let me hit preview because it looks different in there. So this would be the page, right? Why it has my son's address in there, I don't know. And so the button changes. And so I took all the colors from inside this image. Get this thing out of my way. And then And yeah, we're not very far down it yet, but, which is good if you're adding local chapters, because we won't have gotten all that far. So this is be a good way too for me to show you guys the difference. If it'll ever load. FG Funnels hates opening when I'm on Zoom. Like my computer doesn't have that much RAM apparently to make both of those things happen, because they are both, you know, processing system hogs. Try and get it again. There we go. Oh, get your culinary passport. That's what it says right now. But this is like the look. So what it looked like before was more like this. So I've taken it and made it go with your thing. So you see, I don't have the copy in here yet, but because it's the template, I can just go through and add it in. So I guess like from here up really would be, does that start to look okay to you? You're muted.
I can't read the yellow very well.
Okay,
I'm having trouble seeing that.
this one? Or
Yeah,
on the black as well, just this one, okay. Yeah. Move it to the red.
for the pain part, I would like to say something about wanting to travel, but you don't have the time or the money. Or
Mhm.
the resources. I don't like money.
Right.
Want to get together in a less stressful environment with others, forming community. And I really like that one that we came up with yesterday, Chair and I. Let's sit together down at the table.
Mhm.
And I've got every notes everywhere. Together in person on our Facebook page and Zoom. The key is us. We are in this together as a community. And so I really want to emphasize the community.
Okay,
The pain is not necessarily the division or the negativity. The pain is always having that come into the picture instead of concentrating more on the positive.
okay.
I don't know if I'm making sense or not, it's like,
It does, yeah. So it's like nobody intends to go somewhere and cause division and be negative, but every time you get together with people, it seems to happen because somebody wants to talk about.
yeah, or instead of going to a restaurant with people and sitting down at a table as a community, you stay at home and you watch the news, which I watch the news, so don't get me wrong. And you yell at the television because you're angry and you're tired of the government and you're tired of the division.
Right.
So I wanted to focus more on the positive because you're tired of all that. And I want it to be like, the metaphor or I'm trying to remember my English, allegory of actually sitting at a table. You're not maybe sitting at a table, but you're actually sitting down together as a community to explore another country, its food, its people, how that impacts you, how you impact that.
Yeah.
And then also adding other things in, like, Sherry is a therapist, so she can talk about anything. So
Right.
I want to include people in our group that have something to offer. So it's even kind of a networking, have something to offer everybody that relates to, you know, I've traveled and it's really hard to go into a new country where you can't, you know, da, 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 da. Or I'm a travel agent. You know, one of our people looking at it is a travel agent. I'm a travel agent. And, you know, I want to go in with the most positive attitudes. These would be my suggestions when you're traveling on paper or you're traveling in, you know.
So are you gonna have full local chapters, or are you just thinking more along the lines of, in this area, everybody's gonna get together and go?
I want in places like Tucson, because there are more
Yeah.
people are there. I want to have a full local chapter.
Okay,
I want us to have like a meeting place, time, you know, and that could change, you know. And I'm going to put that out there as, you know, you have options. And I want to like give away a little door prize, you know, and I want people to we're going to recruit. We're going to talk about what a positive community entails, the strength in the community. We're focusing on the joy, and share about it. You know, food is full sensory. When you
Yeah.
experience food, you feel it in every sense of your body, and you can
Right.
transfer that to your mind to give it a more positive look on all the other stuff around it, the history, the people, the culture, so in person, I think that's a much cooler way of doing it. And not everybody will do that. You know, I have one friend in Tucson who's not going to be in a group. She's just my friend since 4th grade. And she likes to get together with me and we chat about all things. So, you know, and it's going to be has to start with at least 3 people to be
Okay.
a group. So, and for now, it's going to be where I can be. But in the future, I have a ton of fly miles. So I could even go different places where there's, you know, several people who want to start one and, you know,
Right.
help that out too. So, and they might not do it the same way as a local chapter thing after that, but at least they'll have that impetus to want to get together on a regular
Right.
basis.
right,
So
No,
I
I
know
like
we're off the track here, but
that's okay. All right. Yeah, so I'm gonna give you guys time to write your sales copy. Tomorrow, when we come together, whatever is done, we'll like tweak it and make it really good. And then I'm gonna say this, next week, whenever you get it finished, just send it to me and I can give you feedback on it, whatever you want. So on your sales copy. So I'm gonna hit Lindsay. Are you still there? Are you? She might be wandering around.
Yep.
Okay, I think we can stop recording.